Okie dokie. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. And if anybody hops on with me, that's cool. Um, so I'm Megan, and the purposes of this video tonight is to introduce how to set up a LinkedIn account and how to start connecting with people. Um, I started looking at my LinkedIn account, I don't know, back in December, I think, because December of 2020, because I had gotten an email from them and I just thought that it would be nice to have another platform to talk about my journey on and to do coaching invites. And then, some me and my husband, a couple other people were talking about how we remember before there was a Facebook. And we had kind of talked about, like, what would we do if Facebook was gone? And what would we do if Instagram was gone? Um, so I started thinking about putting my eggs in more than one basket. And I am using LinkedIn basically the way that I use it to connect with people on Instagram. So because it's a professional networking site, it is more geared towards people who are looking for jobs and people who are trying to hire for jobs. Um, so keep that in mind when you're using LinkedIn. It's a very professional site. You can still share your personal journey, but I did have one lady get back to me basically and tell me that she doesn't want to hear about my family because this is not the right place to talk about your family. Um, I'm still going to talk about my family, but I'm just warning you that you might get that feedback using LinkedIn a little bit. And but that's okay. It's still a great way to connect. It's still a good way to find people in your local area. It's a great way to find people who you went to school with, specifically college. And I think that it's a useful tool. And so basically what I do is I reach out, I connect with somebody, then I send them a greeting message and kind of try to start a conversation with them and see how that goes. And, if we connect on some basis, if we're from the same area, maybe we went to the same school, maybe we know the same town, we both like to go vacation there or something like that. Um, I'll go back and I'll touch base with them again a little bit later, maybe a month later, and say, hey, by the way, do you have any health goals? Or, hey, by the way, um, I run an accountability group and I'm looking for ladies who are interested in joining. And then I'll go into more of an inviting process. So if you need a video on inviting, talk to your upline about that. Um, I'm going to go ahead and bear with me because this is the first time I've ever hosted a Zoom call where I've shared my own screen. So I'm going to see how this works. And I'm going to share my screen. And let's see, it gives me a choice here. And I want to go to my internet. Okay, let's go to LinkedIn here. So hopefully this is showing up for everybody. Okay. Um, this is what it looks like when you first go on LinkedIn, and then it's going to ask you to sign into LinkedIn, or I already have a profile here. What I'm going to do is create um, a fake account that I'm not actually going to use, but I'm going to do join now. And I'm going to use a different email I used to use for my old business. And let's use a fake password. Okay, agree and join. And then you're just going to fill in your name. I'm going to make a fake name for this one. And probably just delete this later. Oh, I might not be able to use a fake last name because it's doing a security check. Let's see here. Okay, so this is where you start to add in your personal information, right? So let's say most recent job title, I'm going to put health and wellness coach, and that pops right up in your choices here. Employment type, let's say self-employed. And I think there's a wellness category in here. Now, if you're not in health and wellness, obviously you would pick whatever industry you're in. There's not wellness. Let's see if there's health and wellness. There we go. Health, wellness, and fitness. Okay. Alrighty. It's going to send me through some verifications. So I'm not going to do all of that on here. I think what I will do is go to my actual account and kind of show you guys how I connect with people and what the profile actually looks like. Okay, this is okay. Let me go ahead without the verification. So this is what it'll look like when you're in your profile when it first opens up for you. And it's very similar to Facebook in the way that it operates. As you can see up here at the top, you can go ahead and say when you started working. I'm going to close this little messaging thing so you can see the whole thing. And I'm going to move my picture out of the way because it keeps getting in the way. Okie dokie. So up here, you can search for things. You can search hashtags. What's really nice is if people are looking for a job, they will have the hashtag over their face that says open to work. You can search that hashtag and you can actually look for people who are looking for a job and then potentially ask them to join your team. You can go into your network. We as coaches cannot post jobs. I did just learn that the other day. So you can network with people and you can invite them. You can't post a job because it's multi-level marketing and because it is mostly commission. So the only people on LinkedIn who can post for jobs are people who are offering salaries or hourly wages. Um, you have your messages, any notifications that you'll get. Also, download the app. If you're going to go ahead and use this, download the app and then you can have it on your phone right there. What I'll do is I'll just incorporate it into one of my power hours. So I'll power hour on Instagram and then I'll power hour on LinkedIn. If you don't know what a power hour is, talk to your upline, or um, you can do a YouTube search for power hours and watch them and do them that way. So then you can add a profile picture over here. I highly recommend doing that. Um, And then in here, this is your feed. And so this is when you start making connections, you'll see people's posts start coming up. You can like them, you can heart them, you can comment on them and things like that. When you're in the app, there is a story at the very top of the screen. So let me see if I can open that up really quick. Yeah, so here, I don't know if I can show you that or if that's just going to be a bright light. It looks like it's just going to be a bright light. I wish I could show you that. Maybe if I turn my brightness down, does that show up a little bit better? There you go. At the very top, you can see there are stories. And what I've noticed is not as many people use the stories, but I think that's actually good because then when you're posting your stories, somebody's going to be more likely to watch it. So definitely pick certain things that you think are more on the professional side of what you share on your Instagram stories and pop them over to your LinkedIn. If you have your Instagram set up so that when you post a story, it auto saves to your gallery, then it's just really easy when you open up your LinkedIn app, it'll be right there in your camera for you to share it. So let's take a look here. Is there anything else that I wanted to show you before I started talking about connecting to people? I don't think so. When you're in your profile, you can add where you went to school and things like that. And I would love if I could find that for you because that was really nice when I added my education. Here we go. Yeah, go into profile. So when I added in my education, because I set up my LinkedIn account like 10 years ago when I was still doing hair, and you can put in where you went to school. So it has this nice little graph here that kind of walks you through like add work dates, and then it'll tell you other things that you can add in as you go along. You can add more experience. And as you start making friends on LinkedIn, they can go to your profile and say other qualifications that you have. So I've had some people go on my profile and say I have qualifications in hair care, communication, social media, and things like that. So that's also nice. That helps to build your network. When you add in your experience and you add in your school and things like that, then when you go to network, it will tell the system will tell you here are people from your local area and here are people from your school that you went to. That's really nice. I feel like that's a great way to start a conversation with people. Hey, I went to that school too, or what do you like about living in such and such a town and things like that. So I'm going to come back up here to my network and open this up for you. And it says, I don't have any invitations yet, obviously, because I just started doing this. But what you're going to be able to do is make connections. So these are other health and wellness pages that you could follow. And here are other people with similar skills that you can follow. And this is what I'm talking about. When you go into My Network, one of the options that will come up in here is people who live in whatever area you live in. Also, people who went to whatever school you went to school in. Those are the kinds of people that you want to go ahead and connect with. Now, a lot of these are pages and they're all just follows. So what I want to do is I'm going to sign out of this account and I'm going to sign into my other one so I can actually show you what it looks like when you connect with somebody. Because I think that's a really important piece to this. And I thought I was going to have to do it in another call. Oh, I don't remember my password. That's what I get for setting this up 10 years ago. There we go. I'm not going to do that right now. I'll do that another time. I'm sorry, my internet is so slow. All right, here we go. So this is my actual account. Couple other things that are really nice. It tells you how many people viewed your profile. If you get the premium, you can see specifically who viewed your profile. I will probably be doing that later on down the road. You can see how many views of your posts you got. So that's really nice too. That just kind of gives you that gauge of, okay, how many people are actually seeing my stuff? How many people am I actually connecting with? You can kind of see like 22 people saw one post, but maybe 50 people saw a different post on another day. And that's really awesome. So let's go over to my network. And let's see, I do have a couple of requests. I'm not going to do that right now. It'll tell you right here at the top where people have accepted your invitations. What I like to do after I get that little notification on there is I go into view all and I'll go down that list. Every person who accepted my connection, I'll say, hi, thank you so much for connecting with me. And then I'll pop in a question. Where are you from? What do you love about your job? Did you set any health goals this year? It's towards the end of January, but it's still January. I was using Happy New Year as a greeting with these people. You could, you can always pop in like whatever holiday is coming up that month and ask them if they have any plans or something like that, anything to kind of get that conversation started. So whenever somebody accepts your invitation, just like on Instagram, if somebody follows you back on Instagram, what do? You go back to that person who followed you, you say, thank you for following me, and you do either a short introduction or you ask them a quick question to start a conversation. It's the same exact thing that you're doing here. So if I scroll down a little bit further, here we go. People who you may know who went to Washtenaw Community College. So I'll go through and I'll connect with a bunch of these people. And it's just really easy. Like, here's this young lady is a dietitian. I'm going to connect with her. And then it sends her a request, and I will get a notification later if she reconnects with me. Not everybody is going to connect with you. Some of these people who pop up are not as active on LinkedIn as others. That's okay. Send as many connections as the system will allow you to. It will pop up a notification and tell you you can't send any more connection requests today. Just say, okay, that's fine. I don't know what the limit is. I didn't actually count. But just go through and connect until it tells you you can't connect anymore. Not everybody's going to reconnect with you, but that's okay because you just sent out like 50 requests or something like that. And then it'll go down to here, people you may know with similar roles. That's always a good one. And then I really like people you may know in the Detroit metropolitan area. I really like to connect with people who are in my local area because then we already have something to talk about, right? We have so many things we can talk about if you're living in the same area, you know? And so those are great people to connect with as well. You can follow some pages. I have not really noticed that that makes a big, huge difference. I think the biggest thing that I like about this is finding the people that you can connect with and then going ahead and sending them a message and following back up with them later. And if I could see, I would like to show you what it looks like when somebody is open for work. Where was this one? I'm going to go into see all in here and we're just going to scroll through and see this young man right here. Look at this little highlight that shows up on the picture, open to work. So that's all I wanted to show you there. Those are great people to normally what I'll do is if I've sent them a request to connect and they've reconnected with me, then I will say, hi, how are you doing? And do a nice greeting. And then I'll send that message. And then in another message immediately after, say, I also noticed that you're open to work. Do you mind if I send you more information about joining my team? Most of the time they say yes. That's when you can introduce yourself, say, hi, I am blah, blah, blah. So for me, I say, hi, I'm a health and wellness coach. Um, I'll give them a tiny bit of information about what I do. You know, I help women find workout programs or something simple like that. And then I'll ask, have you ever thought about health and wellness coaching? Is that something that you think you'd be interested in? Or can I send you some more information on that? A lot of times they'll say yes. Some people will come back and say, I'm going to quit sharing my screen here if I know. Here we go. I'm going to stop the share because all those people, I know it's a public site and you could go on there and see their profiles too, but that feels rude. Anyway, I've had some people be interested and some people were like, that's okay. I'm really looking for a job in this area, or I'm really working on my plan A. And when you get that message, don't be offended. Just go ahead and say, I totally understand that this is not everybody's plan A. I know women on my team who are, insert job description. So what I'll usually say is, I know women on my team who are teachers and nurses, and they're doing this for side income. I know women on my team who are students and they're doing this until they get out of college and get their dream job. Or, you know, you could consider this for something that you can be doing to earn some income while you're looking for another job. It's always okay to extend that invitation out a little bit and say, it's okay if I'm not your plan A. Um, think about it, think about the options that you have, and then offer to send them. If your upline recently did a sneak peek into coaching, offer to send them a sneak peek into coaching video. If your upline is hosting a sneak peek into coaching, or say you're planning one and you want to invite them to that, that's a great opportunity to say, hey, we're having this free webinar. I'd really like to invite you to that if you want some more information. Again, they may say no, but that's okay because you planted the seed, you let them know who you are, and you let them know that they're invited. And you can always go back and reapproach that person at a later time. I generally will I'll give a couple weeks to a month before I go back and reapproach somebody. Um, and then I'll also follow up with people who never got back to me after my initial message. And that's a good way to kind of gauge whether or not that person is even active on the site regularly. So I hope that this video was helpful to anybody who is interested in starting using LinkedIn for whatever purposes you're using it for. Like I said, I'm using it for health and wellness. You could be using it for something different, but hopefully that gave you a good idea for how to set up your profile and start finding people and networking with them. So I am recording this video and I will save it and share it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in a comment. Um, and I hope you have a it's evening when I'm filming this, so I hope you have a great evening. And yeah, if you have any questions, just leave them below. Thank you so much.